Good afternoon, everyone. What an exciting day for us. We are going to go out to Botanica here in Wichita for the Four Seasons and Day Length. And out there right now, I've got Mr. Clint Dayhuff, and he's going to introduce our host for us. Clint, take it away.
Carrie, thanks so much. Hi, friends. It's your buddy Clint. We're back out here at one of our favorite places in town, Botanica. I'm with the fabulous Amy Cabrales, and she is going to talk about the signs of the season. So I'm going to turn it over to her.
Good morning. Right now we're in the Woodland Gardens at Botanica. Here you guys can see all sorts of different types of trees and wildlife. There's also different types of plants, so take a look around. As you're looking at this, think about what season do you think we're in right now? It's a little tricky because we're so close to the end of one season and getting ready to start another. What do you think? What season do you think it is and why?
Feel free to use the chat and ask any questions or just respond to some of Amy's questions.
If there's other response, I can go on. If you said fall, you're right. Some of our trees still have leaves in them, but they've turned and a lot of them have fallen. The animals are all getting ready for winter, hiding away their food. We do have some trees that haven't dropped leaves, such as this one right here. So there's a difference between the two trees. One is called Deciduous, and those are trees that drop their leaves in the winter. And then there's the Coniferous trees, and they'll stay green. You might have heard it called an evergreen. They'll stay green all winter. Those are the two different types of tree you see out here. Next slide.
All right, Carrie, let's start the slides, and we're going to be on slide 2.
Today we're going to talk about spring, summer, fall, and winter. Did you guys know that seasons happen in a pattern that repeats every year? They do. So what is your favorite season and why? Think about that for a minute. What is your favorite season and why do you love it? When you have an idea, put your hand on the top of your head. You will share with a partner, and the person with the shortest hair is going to go first. You're going to say, next slide, my favorite season is blank because of blank. Once the first partner goes, then the second partner will share. Go ahead and share with your partner now. So here's an example. My favorite season is fall because it starts to get cooler and I love all the different colors of the leaves. Do you guys have any ideas to share?
We would love to hear what your favorite season is, and we would love to respond to any questions you might have as we walk around at Botanica today. So feel free to use that question and answer and we'll address those.
Let's take a closer look at.
I'll definitely tell you what favorite season I have, and that is summer. I love summertime.
Why?
Well, because of the pool. Yeah, I like to be at the pool, but it's also very pretty, very green. I just like the colors of summer. Sometimes it can get a little too hot, but you know, it's still a lot of green.
And then you can jump in the pool.
Right.
I love winter, and I really love winter because then I can go snowboarding at the mountains. Wow. And yeah, so kids, we're just going to keep on rolling here. Thanks, Carrie.
So we're going to talk about summer first. You might have noticed that in the summer it's very hot, just like Carrie talked about, and that's because of the sun. Next slide. The sun shines down light onto our planet Earth, and that warms everything up. During the summer, the sun is out for longer, and that's the reason the sunlight warms us up more. Next slide. Look at the trees in the slide. What do you notice? That's right, the trees are full of green leaves. It seems that most leaves are green in the summertime, just like Carrie said that she liked. And because the days are longer, you can play outside longer. Animals love the longer and warmer days too. Next slide. So on the next slide, you can see that the trees have changed. What do you notice about these trees? That's right, the leaves have changed their color from green and now they're yellow, orange, and red. The leaves are starting to fall from the tree's branches, so this must be fall. Fall comes after summer. In real life, it takes a whole year to go through all the seasons, but today we're going to go through them all very quickly. In the fall, there is less daylight, which makes the air get a little bit colder. Do trees drop their leaves because there's less daylight and it gets colder? Actually, some trees conserve water and energy by losing their leaves. When this happens, leaves turn colors and start to fall to the ground. But don't worry, when it starts to get warmer, the leaves will grow back. But what are the animals doing during the fall? Next slide. Think of fall as the season where all things get ready for winter. The squirrel in this picture is gathering nuts and hiding them. Next slide. Why do you think the squirrel is hiding nuts in a tree? Well, so squirrels hide nuts in the tree so that they can eat them when it's cold out. If they bury them in the ground, the nuts may get covered in snow. So the squirrel hides the nuts in the tree. This is how the squirrel survives the winter. Next slide. In the fall, animals gather food for the winter. So winter is our next season. Look at all that snow. Brr. I love this area. Why does it snow in the winter anyway? You see, in the winter, there's even less sunlight than in the fall. That means there's less sunlight to warm things up. So think of snow as drops of rain that have gotten so cold that they freeze into snowflakes. And that happens in the winter. Some animals sleep during the winter in order to stay safe and healthy. When animals sleep during the winter, it's called hibernation. You can see some bears hibernating with their babies.
What other types of animals hibernate?
Yes, we need. There's a slide about that. Oh, I must have missed it. So I know that the groundhog definitely hibernates. Mice hibernate, some mice. What else do you know that hibernates? Clint, do you know any animals?
You know, I'm not sure right off the top of my head. Kristen?
Bears.
That's what I was thinking.
Snakes for sure.
Yeah.
So that moves us on to our next season, and that's called spring. During the spring, the air is warmer because there's more daylight. The sunshine helps to melt the snow, and spring flowers will start to bloom. Now that winter's over and it's spring, animals will come out of hibernation and enjoy a sunny spring day. And this, I believe, is a groundhog or a beaver. And there's the bear poking his head out. All types of animals are born during the spring. Baby deer, baby swans, baby bears, baby piglets, just to name a few. So if we just explored summer, fall, winter, and spring, then what comes next? That's right, summer follows spring. The days will get longer and warmer again. But didn't we already talk about summer? We did. That's because there are only 4 seasons, and every year those 4 seasons repeat. They always come in the same order: summer, fall, winter, spring. Summer, fall, winter, spring. Summer, fall, winter, spring. Summer, fall, winter, spring. Say it with me. Summer, fall, winter, spring. That means that seasons happen in a pattern. So today we learned that the seasons happen in a pattern and that pattern repeats each year. So some signs of summer. Clint, did you learn any signs of summer?
I learned lots of signs. I know it's going to get really hot, and there's going to be lots of green on the trees and
Yes.
the grass.
And the days are?
The days are going to be longer.
Long. Very good. And in fall, we know that the leaves start to change their colors and then they start to fall from the trees. The days get a little bit shorter and they get a little colder because there's less sunlight. Animals start getting ready for the winter by gathering food. And then it's now winter. The days are short and cold. Snow happens sometimes in Kansas, you just never know. Animals hibernate or go to sleep like the animals we talked about. And this is when all of the leaves have fallen from the trees, the deciduous trees. And then spring finally comes. Warmer air starts to come in because the sun is going to be out longer. It starts to melt the snow, and that's when we start to have spring blossoms and the trees start to get buds. And there you have it. The 4 seasons that repeat in a pattern. Come out and see the trees at Botanica whenever the weather warms up, and make sure to stop and tell me hi. Have a great day. And if you have any questions, let us know. I'm here.
Thanks so much. So looks like we have a couple questions coming in.
Oh, yay.
The first question, they're wondering, this is to you, Amy. They want to know, what's your favorite season?
Fall is by far my favorite season. I grew up in the country. We had to clean the underbrush from all of the leaves falling and the dead trees falling down, branches. So we'd have huge bonfires, and I loved to stand at a bonfire.
Great question, kids.
Love it.
They're also wanting to know what Kristen's favorite season is.
Yay!
Mine is summer for sure.
Why, Kristen?
Well, I get a big chunk of time off work.
Well,
and
that's
I get to go
nice.
to school as well.
Yes, very nice.
And the beach.
Oh, yeah, the beach.
So now what they're asking is if maybe we can walk around and see a little bit of where we're at here at Botanica.
Absolutely.
So
I'm just going to let you know that to be careful as we walk. Yeah. I'd love to take you guys around the woodlands. It's my favorite part of Botanica, one of my favorite parts of Botanica. If you come out at night, all of the trees that we show you are going to be covered in this very soft glow white light. So if you get a chance, come out to Illuminations and see it at night. It's even more gorgeous. Okay, if you're ready, I will take you this direction. And you might get to see some squirrels and some birds. They were out big time earlier.
you can see all the leaves down. Since we are approaching winter here, does anybody know what the first day of winter is?
I do.
What's the first day of winter?
It's December 21st, which is about a week away. So it was a really tough question we started off with. If you look at this tree here, this is a great example of a coniferous tree. It'll stay green all winter.
Say that 5 times fast.
Coniferous, 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 coniferous. I actually made sure I was pronouncing that correctly by looking that up on Google. A wonderful thing. And then Clint, don't forget to step over. Here you can see some trees that still haven't dropped their leaves all the way. They're on their way, so we still have a little fall weather. I'm sure the wind tomorrow will take care of some of those. And this wraps around. I love these. They are losing their leaves. Have all
Very
the berries
pretty.
on them.
Yeah, the berries are gorgeous.
Aren't those gorgeous? It's super
Wow.
serene back here too. If we walk down this, we may get to see some squirrels playing.
Teachers, we'd love to do some shout outs to your classes out there. If you would put in the chat what school you're at and maybe what grade your class is. And we're just going to tour around and see some of the signs of the season.
You can see all these trees have lost their leaves. So in the fall, in the spring and in the summer, these are just full of dense trees. You can't hardly see through. Oh, and you know what? Along one of these trees is a little fairy door. I found it when I was coming through here.
We're on a hunt now.
I know. I can't remember which tree it is. Oh, I hope we find it. I think it was right there. They may have taken it out for illuminations. You just never know. But usually there's squirrels all running through here.
Miss Piles, first grade class from McCollum. Hope you're doing great
Hello,
today.
McCollum. Oh, there's a squirrel. He's hiding from us.
Franklin Elementary's here with us today.
Wow, hey Franklin, thanks for joining us. So glad you guys could come today.
Here's a great question coming in, which I don't know the answer to that, but the question is, should we rake leaves in our grass or just leave them on the ground?
Well, if you live in an HOA, follow whatever rules they have. But in my opinion, the leaves are great decomposers. They break down, they put nutrients that our soil needs in it. They're great for the decomposers that are living under there to protect them. So nature naturally fertilizes itself. We humans, we just want pristine lawns, and so we rake them. But then we take all these leaves that decompose in 10 days to 2 weeks and we put them into a plastic bag. And that plastic bag doesn't break down for over 100 years. So it doesn't make sense to me. But again, I do know that some places they have to rake. So,
hey, we wanted to give a special shout out to our friends in Mrs. Friend's class at Earhart Elementary.
Earhart, yes!
We hear you may go get a look around outside for some signs of the season later today.
They have a gorgeous place.
We are glad you're here with us. Here's a question coming in. Do
Do
squirrels live in Botanica?
Oh, they are everywhere. If we held still and we got really quiet, I'm sure we could see them. Because when I walk through here, I usually do.
We also have a first grade class at Chisholm Trail Elementary.
Go Chisholm.
Hope you all are doing great out there today. Thanks for being with us.
Okay, so here is some of the birds. Now this is the artists have come through and done this, but we really do have chickadees. So these are actual models of the birds that live in Kansas.
And I don't know if you can see this, but there are actual eggs inside of here. I don't know if you can see it with the way the light is, but there are real bird eggs right inside of there.
And we come along, we have a blue jay, and there's actually going to be up further a replica of an actual eagle's nest, which is huge. I had no idea it was this large. I mean, I knew it was big. This is a cool.
That's it right there.
No, this is not the eagle's nest.
This is not the eagle's nest.
This is just a cool, and at Illuminations, this is so pretty. I don't take pictures.
Cool,
this is my
kids?
stepdad.
It's just a little place
By
to
the way,
hang out.
we have Prairie Elementary from Hayesville. Miss Taylor's class. They are joining us today too.
Shout out to you guys.
Hayesville students, glad you're here with us today.
Yeah. So here we have a deciduous tree that hasn't dropped all of its leaves yet. That's how we know we're still in fall.
So we've learned about deciduous and coniferous.
Okay, this magpie, they are notorious stealers of things. So in this replica, they actually have all these things that this magpie has stolen and put in there. Isn't that great?
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Okay, and here's the eagle's nest. It would be great as if Clint got behind there and we took a picture of him. A lot of people take pictures there. And there's the eagle's nest. I can't see anything. Can you?
Here we go.
Looks great.
Clint, how tall are you?
What a
I
great.
am 6'1".
So glad you played along. Okay, and then this is the eagle's nest. Now these are not real eggs, but they are put here to show you the size.
Wow.
So this is the replica of an eagle's nest right
Yeah, you can actually stand inside of it.
here. Kids, do you see the size of that?
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that
Wow.
great? We have artists that come out and make those things so we can teach kids about them. Because we do have eagles in Kansas.
Did anybody
this-
else know that it was
Yes.
this big?
I had no idea.
How big are
So,
those
I think-
eggs? Can you kind of give me like an estimate, like is it about the size of a ruler, like that our kids would use?
There's my
There you go.
hand.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to say it's probably a ruler and a half, so maybe 18 inches, foot and a half. But that's a complete guesstimate.
So I think now we're going to play the guessing game. So we are going to put the camera on a tree, and we want you to guess whether that is a deciduous tree or a coniferous tree.
And how you know?
So this will be our first one.
Get ready to type your answers in the chat, guys.
So here is our tree right here. Is this a deciduous or a coniferous tree?
A little secret I always think to help me remember is coniferous starts with the word cone. And so cone-bearing trees are coniferous. That's my only hint.
All right, some answers starting to come in here. So what is it,
So,
Amy?
If you said deciduous, you would be correct. We can still see it has some leaves on it, but a lot of its leaves have already fallen. So we know this tree is getting ready to conserve its energy for the winter by dropping its leaves.
So that tree does not make cones. And when you say cones, you mean like pine cones? Is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
you got it.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. And not all coniferous trees do that. It's just an easy way for me to remember, because when I was learning it, I would get them confused. And so that's a little trick that I taught myself.
All right, we're going to go to our next one here. We're going to look at this tree right here. So is this tree deciduous or coniferous?
It looks like a juniper.
All right, and what kind of tree was that, Amy?
It was a coniferous tree.
Hey, we got a squirrel right over here. I'm going to try to get close to. There it goes.
He is getting ready for the winter. He's looking for food, looking for nuts on the ground. He's like, why are you guys bothering me? I'm working. He's nice and fat, so he can stay warm.
Well, kids, we really hoped you enjoyed the signs of the seasons, and we hope you left knowing a little bit more about the seasons, and a bonus, now you know a little bit more about trees.
We hope you guys will come out to Botanica and see them in person during the day or night. It's gorgeous out here.
We have another virtual field trip coming up here at 2 o'clock over the phases of the moon. And so we hope to see you there and to see you at some of these here in the near future. We hope you have a Merry Christmas and enjoy your winter.
Merry Christmas.
This is Clint, Carrie, Amy, and Kristen signing off. Bye, everyone.
Bye, thanks.